All right, so here we are in class number 14. This is CLED 855. It's teaching and learning, and it has to do with theory and practice in leadership. And basically, for the most part, what we've been looking at so far, and this is week number 4, what we've been looking at is curriculum design and implementation, reading some books on proper ways to design and create educational curriculum for some kind of a program, specifically geared obviously towards a theological education. Some of the books, some of the things that we have to do are dealing with online as well as face-to-face or residential programs. And there's a bit of a difference between how you would structure a residential program versus an online or a distance program. At least those are some of the things that I'm drawing out. That seems to be the case. A good class, interesting. That one of our major project, not one, but the major project for this class is basically every week we are stepping our way through building a curriculum, some kind of a program, just as a template, as a test for maybe what some of us who are in this program might do in the future. I don't know if I'll ever create any kind of educational school program, but we have to put together a master's level program, and each week we have a different piece of it. This week we have to do the curriculum map, and so we're taking our learning outcomes, which we did last week, and we are trying to place them in this map to decide, understand, figure out where each of the learning outcomes is going to be introduced or reinforced, expanded on, something along those lines, in each of the classes that we have put together. So we put together a number. In mine, I think it's 10 classes, something like that. Yeah, 10 classes. And each class is different, and there's supposed to be a building that goes on. They build on one another, or they reinforce one another, or they introduce certain things that are related to your learning outcomes. So that's what this week is all about, is trying to figure out. I think the main purpose for the curriculum map is to define, to figure out, to see if your learning outcomes, things we did last week, are actually going to be learned through these classes that you put together. And if not, I'm sure next week there'll be a revision. Every week, if there's issues with your piece to the project, then you have to revise it for the following week, as well as continue the progress towards this 6-week project that has to be done, this major project. Here's the one thing that I don't like. It appears to me that some classes focus too heavily on quantity versus quality. And what I mean is they'll cram so much reading, so many papers or replies or posts or book reports or whatever. They'll cram so much. So it's a large quantity of things, but the quality suffers. At least it appears that way to me. The more that I have to do, there's a certain point where the quality of my work is going to go down. I don't have enough time during the week, and these are 8-week programs, right? The class is done in 8 weeks, right? And I've got work to do. I've got family life to live. There's holidays. There's all kinds of other things that go on, and it makes it very difficult. So I'll give you an example. This class that I'm in here, CLED 855, every week you've got these discussion board posts, and then you've got these replies. The problem is, one week you'll have 2 posts that you have to do, and then the following week you'll have 4 replies, because you have to reply to 2 people on each of the posts that they've done. And you might think, well, that's not too bad. Well, but then add all the readings that you have to do, and then add this project that, I mean, if what you want is just a lot of stuff, then go ahead, because you're just not going to get the quality. Now, if it was just one thread post, it's going to be better than having two, along with 4 different books or whatever you have to read, as well as this progressive project that's going on. And then add to that, this week again, add to that a book report. Like, at some point, quality is going to suffer because of the quantity. So there's my little rant. And I found this in some of the other classes. I didn't mention anything in any of the other little videos that I've done as my progression towards this doctorate program. But it just kind of dawned on me in this class that some of these classes that they're putting together, they're adding way too much, and they're losing out on quality. If they trimmed it down a little bit, then I think you'd get more quality work. But I guess the question is, and I don't know this, but the question would really be, are these classes looking for quality or quantity? And this is actually probably a good class for me to contemplate these things, because I'm building this project of building a curriculum, a program of study for master's level. So something for me to contemplate as well. This is probably the best class for me to think about these things. Well, anyways, class number 14 out of 20 is the way they break it down. And it's CLED 855, Teaching and Learning, Theory and Practice in Leadership. Week 4, a couple more weeks left, and then this one will be in the bag.